Hi, everyone. I am here at the ThyCa Conference with Miguel Meléndez. He is one of the people who helps run the cancer support group for ThyCa and is a volunteer for the American Cancer Society. Thank you for being here today with me.
My pleasure.
So I have been here helping give sessions just like you for caregivers who have family members that have thyroid cancer. And I know that you and I have had a lot of deep conversations with people around here, but I think that sometimes others really need to hear about caregiver stories because we all feel alone. Even if we're sharing our stories with other people, we have people on our side that understand what we're going through. And so I'd like to start off with just asking, what is one thing that you wish caregivers would know right now?
The one thing in our support group that I remind everybody is that you can't take care of anyone if you don't take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to make yourself a priority so you can help others.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, earlier this morning, where there was somebody who said that she was all stressed out, she was keeping it in. And she wound up going to the emergency room. That was an extreme situation.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of that before.
So here's a follow-up. I know that we know that taking care of ourselves is important, but I also know that it's hard to connect what we know and what we actually do for ourselves. So do you find it difficult to care for yourself? And when you realize that you need a little more care, is there something that you do to kind of bring you back to that permission to be able to do it?
I schedule my physical always around my birthday. Okay, and that's one big thing that I do. I'm also a prostate cancer survivor. I'm a 16-year prostate cancer survivor. So that's one of those appointments I don't miss.
Yeah.
That's something
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable for me. But the other thing is in terms of watching yourself physically. You know, try to maintain an active life.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of you know, either going to walks, going to the gym. In the bathroom, I have a scale. That reminds me that I need to be more active. You know, I'm not as weight conscious as I am more in terms of being active.
Yeah. And being active, it doesn't even just only have physical benefits. There's mental and emotional benefits to just getting around and moving. So sometimes that's a good reminder for people to know.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, like going out for walks, which gives you a chance to breathe, kind of clear your minds. And
Yes.
so that whatever's ahead, you know.
Yeah. It helps that resilience that we need, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you are a male caregiver. And so I think that I have actually seen here that there are a lot of caregivers with their wives that are here kind of in a passive way because they're just the person behind the scenes. They're here to support the person that they're here with, and don't necessarily even see themselves as a caregiver. I mean, I've been told I'm just the husband. And so I find that for men who are in a caregiving role, it's really difficult to bring that role into a part of who they are, and to really espouse and understand that this is what they're doing. Do you find that there are parts of your caregiving specifically that are difficult because you are a guy? Are things that you find that men that you talk to have trouble talking to other people about because of how they feel they should show up in life as a man?
Interestingly, basically the majority of the caregivers that come to our support group, you know, virtually, the majority of them are women. I have one who's is a father to a 20-year-old daughter. It's different, you know, virtually versus in person.
Yeah.
In person, you can get them out of the shell, you know, and if we're going to do virtually, I have to find a way in terms of connecting with them, on a one-to-one basis, expressing feelings.
Yes.
There are fears. And a lot of time the feeling is, I'm okay, everything's okay, and I don't want to talk about anything else. Yeah, that's what I have noticed, in terms of the men in general, in terms of communicating.
Yeah.
One of the things that we were talking about was in terms of the focus is on your partner, okay, and taking care of them, making sure that they're okay. When my wife was diagnosed over 20 years ago, the internet wasn't in its inception, and we had 3 kids. They were 2, 6, and 8 at the time.
Wow.
And both of us were working. Okay,
Yeah.
so it was a lot to juggle. As soon as she got back, from work, she would go to the computer and start chatting with the researching,
Yeah.
chatting, and after a couple of weeks, as I had to say, Earth to Abby.
Yeah.
And she understood, yes, this is important to you, but then we also still have to maintain, and that I found that kind of difficult because to a certain extent, it's like, am I being selfish? She's going through this, but at the same time, I had to let her know. We still need to maintain the house and raise our kids. Yeah.
That's interesting because that was a part of a conversation that I had in one of my groups. It's how to have those conversations with your spouse, right? And I heard it from both a wife and a husband in 2 different situations where the wife was sharing that she felt the disconnect from her partner in life. And then the husband shared that he was trying to figure out how to bring his wife more into connection with the everyday. In the same way, they were both saying, I really miss the person that I live with, and I don't know how to connect with them. So you being able to way back then say, wait a minute, like, I still need you here with me. That's something difficult. Not everyone has the thought to be able to do that. And then the presence to say, I know they might not like this discussion, but I need to have it. Yeah.
And my co-facilitator was saying when his wife was diagnosed, it's not you have cancer, it's we have cancer.
Yeah, we have cancer.
Because the cancer is affecting both of us. And it resonated with me. I said, I never thought of it that way.
Right.
But, from another perspective, it is true.
Yeah.
We're both going through this journey. It is a roller coaster ride.
Right.
Not that we go through the same humps at the same time,
Exactly.
but we do go through our ups and downs.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. No, I like using the analogy of roller coaster ride or even turbulence on a plane, because it's coming at some point, and sometimes someone will warn you, hey, this might be a bumpy ride, but then it's the not exactly knowing when everything's going to drop or things are going to get shaky.
Yeah.
So I love because it's unpredictable, but also expected at the same time.
Yeah. Actually, the turbulence, that would knock me for a loop.
Yeah.
In terms of, you have cancer. Okay, here we are. These are the steps we're going to be taking. And this is the adjustment that you're going to be going through.
Yeah.
And then the issue in terms of anxiety, waiting for the results. And the further away that you are, that's where I like the lull going down. That'll ever stop.
Exactly.
That's still in the back of your mind in terms of, even though, quote unquote, it's the most treatable, you never know.
Exactly.
And even with my own cancer, I was one of the fortunates. I had surgery. I didn't need chemo. I didn't need hormone therapy.
Yeah.
But I have friends and family that had to go through that. Still, the anxiety in terms of getting the blood work and looking at the portal, right away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that patient portal
Yeah.
or my chart, if that's what people have. It is amazing the amount of power it can have over your life for a day, a week, or a month. That constant checking or waiting for the alert to come up.
I have a caregiver that she wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning and see the results of her husband's,
Yeah.
in terms of what kinds, is it good, bad, and it's and at a certain extent, not good,
Hmm.
and I think somebody mentioned here in terms of MD Anderson that they don't put it on the portal until they have conversation,
Oh, nice.
and,
Yeah.
and I think in certain situations that may be the best.
Yeah. And then in others, very frustrating because you're like, I know the lab work is already in. I can't wait another week to figure out what it is. All right. Before we go, then, if you could tell Miguel back the day you became a caregiver, one thing that would maybe help you emotionally, mentally, or just a way to warn you about things that you could maybe do differently going through your caregiving, what would that be?
Maintaining social contact.
Mm,
I went into a protective mode,
yeah.
and the priority was taking care of my family, taking care of my wife. So any social opportunities that I had,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah. Not now.
not now. And slowly but surely, I did lose a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very difficult to reconnect. So.
Yes. Yeah.
And back then, there wasn't the social media.
Yeah.
So at least you could tell your story and people know what you're going through the journey. And it was a lot more difficult to express and people understanding,
Yeah.
what you were going through.
Yeah.
Yes. So
And,
maintaining social contact is very important.
and that's difficult in general, too. Some friends aren't able to show up. And even when we have social media now, and they can see kind of like, these are the difficulties I'm having in life. There's some people that they don't have the capacity to be there for us in that way. And then it becomes very hurtful before social media. I feel anyone who had friends that kind of disappeared or you couldn't connect with because everything had to be in person, right? If you weren't there, then slowly people stopped inviting you. They wouldn't tell you about the things going on.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you find yourself just kind of by yourself and like, where did everybody go?
Yeah.
Like, I need people in my life that can kind of help me remember that I'm a person outside of all of this. So,
Definitely.
yeah, that's a reminder for people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here with me. I loved having this conversation. And if anyone is looking for a support group, if you're in the thyroid cancer world and you're a caregiver, you can check out the ThyCa website.
Our email is ThyCa Caregiver @gmail.com.
Perfect.
So if anybody wanted to get in touch with us,
Yeah.
and join our monthly meetings, so
Yeah.
just reach out.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.